Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. I'm Perry Phillips. I go by Podhead Picker on Instagram, and it's another week in reselling. Another week in reselling. I went to a book sale today. It's normally outside, and I've done well in the past, but it's a little bit more expensive than the book sale that I go to. There's one every month in my town. And then the town next door is like a little bit more prim and proper. And so their shit's a little bit more expensive. I still try to wheel and deal. I know it's for charity, but like sometimes it's too expensive. They had $1 each on their books. The book sale that I go to every month, they do 25 cents to 75 cents. Like they'll do $1 if they think it's like a really good book. And so, so it was a little bit more expensive, but they got the people there. If you ever source at book sales, there's these people that they have scanners and they go through and they scan like every single book. And, so these guys were there scanning books but it's all like boring shit. Like I saw one guy, he was in like it was like either the travel section or like the cooking section and just scanning. Oh yeah, that's no fun. So I picked up like an old copy. It was like a box set of the Chronicles of Narnia. You can tell it's old. It's not like, crazy old, but it's, from probably like the 60s or 70s. Probably 70s. I have to look. And so that book goes for a decent amount of money. I looked it up. So I've picked that out, I've sold box sets like that in the past and they've done well. I sold like one with the Lord of the Rings and like the Hobbit. And if you get it cheap enough, that one, I know the Chronicles of Narnia is pretty popular. So I figured that was a pretty safe bet. They wanted $5 for it, so I paid $5 for it, but still, I think I bundled everything. And I got a bunch of sci-fi books. They had like all these old paperback sci-fi books. So I'll probably just lot those up and sell those as a lot and just call it a day. It was right up the street. It was quick, But their ad said 10 o'clock, and the sale actually started at 9. So I ended up I thought I was going to be early, and we ended up being late because the ad was incorrect. So I don't know what the fuck happened, why it was written like that, but shit happens, whatever. I don't think I missed anything. In the past, I found comic books there. They had like a bunch of comic books, and they have video games, but this one I felt like all the DVDs and video games have been the same for the last like 3 years. Ooh. I got like this obscure horror movie. They had part 1 and 2. So anytime I find stuff like that, I'll buy it because I can typically lot it together, and then, or if I don't feel like dealing with it, just put it right back in the yard sale pile, and it usually goes when I have a big yard sale. So, and then, just a bunch of like Frank Herbert, Isaac Asimov, that type of stuff. I've done well with there's certain old like sci-fi magazines, like I say magazine, but they're like almost like books. I bought a bunch. I think we were going to Cape Cod for like a family day, but we were stopping at yard sales along the way because you got to. And this lady had like a bunch of big boxes of these sci-fi books. She wanted 60 for them. I still remember this. I don't know how. And so I asked her if she would take less, and she said no. So I was like, all right, 60's fine. And I think I sold one book for like $100, and like a few other books I sold for good money. But I basically like wiped through all of these other ones, and then there's just this one specific, I can't remember the name of it, but they're all old. And that one's still left. It's like all the other ones sold except for that one. Oh shit, that was my speaker. I was listening to music earlier. I think I got allergies or something. I don't feel sick. I just am like sniffling. Sorry. And yeah, so there's like just I still have a bunch left of that one. So I don't know. I might just put it all together in one lot and put it online or sell it locally. So who knows? Sold some He-Man toys to a guy. He comes to my yard sales. He always bitches about I think I talked about him. He was the one that was bitching that I let people come early. And I said, and I don't think the ad even said no early birds, but he was just like said something about saying no early birds. And then, so there's always people that bitch like that. It's like, people always say no early birds, but you know, I think they just don't want people showing up days early. I mean, if you're a few hours early, that's ridiculous too. If it's something I want, I'll go early and just politely be like, hey, I'm here for this. Is it okay if I wait? And sometimes I'll just be like, yeah, sure, here, you can come right up. You know what I mean? So I always just try to say that. I try to be better about it. Sometimes I don't even say, you know, I just ask if I can wait. You know what I mean? And it's like, then I'm waiting and then I ask about the thing that they had, like that guy with the fucking records. And then they don't have it and it's just a waste of time. So I need to get better about just always being like, hey, I'm here for this. Like, that's what I'm interested in. I saw it in your ad. Is it okay if I wait? And then they'll tell me like, hey, here it is, you know? So anyway, but I also like to look through their stuff. So like, you know, then it's like, all right, I got the thing that I most wanted, but like, what if I find something else among the other stuff? So it's tricky. You know what I mean? There's like, you get that friggin' yard sale anxiety. You have to make, like, I always try to map it out. But then like on the fly, I mean, you've just got to make quick decisions because there's also signs. You see signs. So it's like when you're in the middle of yard sale season, when you're in the thick of it, it gets pretty crazy. You got to fucking make sure you're on your P's and Q's. That's why I like to just listen to like the baby and some like fun shit like that when I'm driving, or my playlist, Choice Nugs Only. Just because, like, yeah, you really do. Like, you have to fucking, like, turn on a dime sometimes. You don't have to. You got to be fucking, you know, obviously safe driving. But, like, you know, I see those bumper stickers, and I hate bumper stickers. Like, I'm not a bumper sticker guy. Surprise, surprise. But I see bumper stickers, and there's one that says, like, I will stop for yard sales or something like that. So those ones I think are a little entertaining. Yeah. But tomorrow there's not too many. So today I went to that book sale. And Friday's not a big yard sale day. When I lived in Washington, Friday was a big yard sale day. And so, yeah, now it's like Saturday is basically the day, which is kind of nice. You know what I mean? Like, I used to go out when I was living in Washington. I would go out like Thursday sometimes because there sometimes would be sales Thursday, Friday most weeks, Saturday, Sunday. And that was before I had kids. And then now, like, it's just mostly Saturday, sometimes Friday, and then sometimes Sunday. You know what I mean? But like Saturdays, I usually have shit that I got to do. Like, and tomorrow I'm going to have my kid with me because my wife works. So this is like the first time in a few weeks that I've had to bring my kid. But usually we have a good time. And there's a church sale that we're going to. And when we went last year, I had my daughter with me. And we were in the car. I just was like waiting for the sale to start. And I always find good stuff there. So I try to get there early. And it's cheap as fuck. And I usually give them more money than they ask. Because they let me in early, you know. And so I so I didn't even finish saying that. So yeah, so I'm sitting there with my kid, just playing with her. I had her on my lap, like in the car, and the lady came out and she was like, "Oh, are you you're here for the sale? We don't open till 9. I'm like, yeah. It's just like, I know. We're here early, we go out to yard sales. This is my yard sale buddy. Like, whatever. And so she's like, oh, yeah, you can come in. So she let me in, and I got to shop without anybody else. And they had like a bunch of vintage Aladdin toys. And I got a couple of cool T-shirts. But there's always, like, the year before, I got a huge collection of Goosebumps, super cheap. So we'll see if it happens again. I'll bring her. And I think it's supposed to be nice. It's nice today. So I'm inside doing the podcast, and then I'm going to go outside. But yeah, I just watched we just watched the roast of Tom Brady. Sorry, I don't know why I just thought of that. So I'm a huge Patriots fan. Not obviously, but I don't know if I've even said that, but huge Patriots fan, and so yeah, it was fun to watch the roast of Tom Brady. I thought it was really funny. I thought the jokes were great. I don't think they were over the line. But yeah, I don't know. We watched that the other night. My wife and I thought it was funny. She's a big Patriots fan too. And yeah, I'm excited about the Patriots this year. Who knows? New coach. Yeah. I don't know why the fuck I just started talking about that. I was talking about this weekend, and then I just got sidetracked with that. But anyway, yeah, if you're a fan of comedy, it was funny. Some of it was kind of like but like most of it was funny. It was like 90 to 95% funny. So it was good. So I talked about these water filters. I don't know if I've talked about them or not. But long story short, I've got these water filters I got for free off a Buy Nothing group. They're huge. They're like 40 inches long. And I just don't know what the fuck to do with them. I tried to sell them. Nobody wanted them. I tried to give them away. Nobody wanted them. Tried to take them to the recycling center. They wouldn't take them. So I'm like, I just don't know what the fuck to do with them. So what I think I'm going to do, what I'm going to have to do is just like saw them in half and then just put them in trash bags and fucking take them to the dump. So, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. It's got to be done. And, yeah. That was one of the dumbest pickups. I thought, no way I don't make money on this. And now I'm like dedicating a bunch of time and space. Yeah, because the chick didn't have like pictures of what it looked like. And then when I got there, I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. I should have just told her like, hey, listen, I'm really sorry. But I took them and it was really fucking dumb. They're just so big. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm going to cut them with. I mean, they seem pretty flimsy. Like I bent them. I bent one just to see how flimsy they were, and it like bent right in half. But they've definitely got to be cut. So I can probably do it with like a Sawzall or something. Get a ninja sword, fucking slice that shit. Yeah. So, yeah, not a lot of sales tomorrow though. This will probably come out sometime this weekend whenever I have a minute to do it. But I really need to figure out the videos. I just uploaded or just pulled them up on my computer. I was trying to figure it out. And I mean, I wasn't, never mind. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm too stupid to talk about it. I don't know how to fucking talk about that shit because I don't know what the fuck I am talking about with that shit. I'm not a podcast producer. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah. But last weekend was pretty good. Not like, it wasn't anything crazy. I drove around for a bit. before I bought like some dollar here, dollar there. Um, and then at the last sale, it was like a sale that I had recognized because there's a few sales in that area that like have sales regularly, and I'll go to them because a lot of times they have different shit. So I got to this sale a little bit later, and they had like a giant bag of McNugget Buddies. There's like some mostly from the 80s, but then there was some from the 90s as well. And so there was like a few complete ones, not a ton. So there's like a complete set of 4 of like the monsters. So I'll probably sell that individually, like as a lot, and then just sell the rest of them all together. Because I didn't pay much for them. I think I paid like $7 or $8, and then I got like 2 vintage McDonald's hats. I got what the fuck else did I get? I got 2 outdoor flags. So those I might do on Facebook. Because but I don't know. I might just do those because those are easy to ship. So who knows? I'm trying to think of what else, but yeah, I got a few things there. I got like a big ass Monster High doll, which I have a bunch of Monster High dolls that I have yet to get to. I don't know what I was thinking about, just saving them and starting to do whatnot, but I don't know. I just, I've been listing a lot more on eBay. I'll talk about eBay a little bit later. I don't want to fucking blow my load on the big topic of the week. But sorry. I'm not even tired. I've just been running around all day. I already did my workout. I've been doing my workout earlier. It's a lot easier to get it done in the morning now. So I've just been getting it. Damn, it's windy as fuck. So I've just been getting my workout done. And we finally got a new lawnmower. I think I talked about this, that I sold my other lawnmowers. So yeah, I'm just fucking doing dad shit. And working. So I took a bunch of pictures of stuff, and I'm just been going through stuff, like trying to sell lots more. Not like sell a lot more, but sell a lot more of lots. A lot of lots. That'll be a good name for if you just sold lots on your eBay store. A lot of lots. I wonder if that's actually a store. If not, somebody's missing an opportunity. If you're listening to this and you want to sell just lots, call your store a lot of lots. And then thank me later. You can send me money later. Yeah, and then I don't think there's a ton. The following week is the big town-wide yard sale in our town. And it's like 2 towns over. So it's all, that's such a crapshoot. You have to hit the right sale first. I got lucky the first year they did it because they made a Facebook page, and it was like I was like one of the first people to join it, and somebody posted, like there was probably under 100 people, and somebody who was having a sale posted a picture of like their stuff, and they were like, oh, get it organized, blah 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 blah, and he had a picture of like a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. And so I hit him up and I was like, hey, I was wondering if that t-shirt, like the price, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, well, I was going to ask for 15. I know that's kind of a lot. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. It was like a vintage single stitch Led Zeppelin t-shirt. And I ended up trading it for a bunch of video game stuff. So I think I did well on the trade. Because I ended up selling something, and it ended up, what happened? I sold it. It got damaged. I forget what happened. I don't even remember. But anyway, it worked itself out. And then... But yeah, so like, but now there's so many people in that group And like, it's just, there's a lot more people. So we'll see. Somebody always asks about video games, which is stupid because then everybody like knows which house to go to. So, but we'll see. I haven't really had much luck in the town-wide in our own city. But there's, like I said, there's another one going on like 2 towns over, so I might pick up my family for the second round of them. But who knows? It's a lot of driving. It's like it gets kind of exhausting. That's the only problem with the town-wide. Is like I like when it's neighborhoods. But they're doing a big one at like a school or something. So I don't know that one, but some of them start at 10. That's the problem. Is like I think I'm going to go around the day before, low key, and like, just to see. I think I did that last year. But just to see, if you see somebody setting up, just be like, hey. Because then you can, like, if you can chop off a few, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to, like, I'm trying to score some shit. But, like, if you go somewhere and there isn't shit, you know what I mean? And they let you kind of take a look, you can mark it off your list. Why not? Don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I mean? This is what you got to do to get ahead at yard sales. But luckily with the other town-wide yard sale, it's going to be stretched out. So there's going to be stuff for everyone. But again, it's just really like luck of the draw. So I'm hoping that because I haven't had much luck the first 2 years, that this will be my year and I'll do well. But who knows? We'll see. I was going to do my yard sale when the town-wide yard sale was going on, but I had so much shit that I had to get rid of. And I like doing it earlier just because, I've got I want to make people who are resellers be like, right in that area where they're hating life because there's not yard sales, and they're like, and then I come along with the weather's just okay for one day, and they come to my yard sale and they're like, fuck man, they just sell them all this shit cheap, super cheap, just fucking boom, 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 one right after the other. So we'll see. I mean, maybe some more will pop up. I think it's supposed to be okay this weekend. I haven't actually looked at the weather. I did earlier in the week, but I haven't looked in a little while. I heard there's supposed to be like some type of like fucking geostorms tonight that might be shutting power down on some shit. Nobody else really seems concerned, so I guess I don't need to be concerned, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's the beginning of the end. So Saturday is supposed to be almost 56 and partly cloudy, partly sunny. That's the way you got to look at it. Partly sunny, not partly cloudy. So, yeah. It's been kind of weird. Like, the last weekend wasn't great. The weekends before that was. Obviously, I've talked about what I found. But, who knows? Because the day's still early. I was going to bid on a storage unit. I was, like, about to. It was at $30 an hour before, and then I went to go look and bid, and it was up to $160. Then it went to, like, $460. So I would have actually probably gone after it because it was a decent unit and you could see enough stuff to justify it. But it was 45 minutes away. So if it was like right in my town, I probably would have done it. But 45 minutes was a long way to have to, empty out a huge storage unit. So, yeah. And then I went to a there was a in-person storage unit auction. So I went to it the other day, and it was not far. It was only about 10 minutes from my house. But they canceled it because the person had paid. But I checked in the morning, and it didn't say anything. So they must have just paid, like right before their time was up. And there was no storage units to be had. So that was cool. Glad I didn't drive super far for that. But now it's good to know to check just in case. Always good to check just in case. Yeah. So I might be doing an estate sale coming up for my wife's family. It's like a downsizing sale. They got to sell the house. Anyway. So yeah. We went to talk to them about that. So I'm hoping that gets taken care of sooner rather than later before we get like real deep into yard sale season. I feel like all I ever do is just talk about yard sale season now. I know what I'm going to talk about once the end of the season's done. Football season. It's become a sports podcast. Just strictly football. Yeah. I tried to stay awake for the Boston Bruins game the other day. And it was when we were visiting my wife's family. So I'd gone to yard sales in the morning, and then we drove out later. We went to a carnival, went to free comic book day. Oh yeah, free comic book day. So my daughter got to pick out some comics. She was super pumped about that. And she's always wanted to read her comics. So that's pretty sweet. And then we went on some rides. And then it was like a 2-hour drive to where we had to go. And so by the time, I think I had a margarita at dinner it was the day before Cinco de Mayo. So I don't even think we planned it. We just went to a Mexican place, and then we realized that the next day was Cinco de Mayo. And so I had a margarita, and we got back, put the kids to bed, and I sat down to watch. It was like the middle of the first period. The Bruins game was on. I sat down and instantly fell asleep. And then my wife kept trying to wake me up, and I'm like, I just kept, getting deeper and deeper into the couch. And they scored the Maple Leafs scored the first goal, and then the Bruins scored the second goal, and then the Bruins, apparently I fell asleep after that. I couldn't stay up. I had to go to actually physically get up and go to bed because I was done. And yeah, missed the whole game. So that was my attempt to watch the hockey playoffs. I haven't seen a Celtics game yet. And yeah. So I used to be really big into following all of it, and not so much anymore. I do like to watch it if it's on, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, oh, this is boring. I'm like, it's entertaining. I like it. The only reason I don't watch it is just there's only so much time. And when I have I have maybe an hour to myself to watch something or play video games. So yeah. Because then when my wife is watching TV, we want to watch like a show that we can watch together. And so she doesn't necessarily give a shit about those sports, but she'll watch if I want to. Or I could watch on my phone, but I don't need my attention span to be like fucking going to two things, you know what I mean? I'm already on my phone doing work and bullshit while I'm watching TV. I don't need to be fucking watching sports on a tablet or something, and then it's too much. So, yeah, too much. So, yeah, I have all these pennants that are starting to sell on eBay. They're kind of a pain in the ass because they're like, you gotta fold them, but I got them so cheap they were already paid off. And I just have so many left. I listed them all, so that's the good news. But I just don't it's just like a random box size that you have to put them in so they don't get all fucking wrinkled up. And yeah. So I don't think I'd buy them again. They'd have to be really, possibly really valuable. But I've sold a couple for 20. After the Bruins one, I sold one for 20. The Boston Bruins one for 20. So, we'll see. But I didn't space out. I just was kind of looking outside. Okay, I guess I spaced out. Um, I'm trying to think if there was a sale that I went to last week that was interesting. Nope, not really. Oh, I did buy some comic books the week before. I forgot about that. So I got some good comic books. Just got like a bunch of them. So I like finding comic books at yard sales, but it never happens. I always see stories of people who find these like great comic books at sales, and then, you know what I mean? Like, I like to buy comic books just like if they have a bunch of them, I like to just be like, hey, how much for all of them? And if they're reasonable, they usually sell them pretty cheap. And you can take them home and just go through them at home. You don't have to sit there and fucking. But that's my favorite. It's just buying a box of comics and going through it. It doesn't happen all the time. Or finding into like any like bulk buys. You know what I mean? You just find like a bulk buy of something and you have to sit down and go through it. I remember we got a bunch of stuff. Some of it was pretty grody. And hold on, sorry, I'm just marking something down. Remember, I don't have a producer. But I remember we bought this box. It was like, it's a bin, and they were like, I started to look through it, and I saw like My Little Pony. It was like definitely girls' toys from like the 80s. And I was like starting to look through it, and the lady was like, oh, $20 for the whole bin. And so I was like, sure. So I took it and started going through it, and I had to like clean a bunch of shit because it was like, I think it had got water damage or something, or it was sitting in a basement or something. And yeah, I found a bunch of cool shit. There was like a rare He-Man girl figure, not He-Man girl figure. I don't know why I fucking just said that. I think it was like a He-Man figure. I'm stupid. And then a bunch of She-Ra, which the She-Ra, I have another lot of She-Ra that I bought, and I think I might just sell it online as a lot. Speaking of bulk lots, because I got it so long ago, and I just haven't done anything with it. Stuff like that, it always takes me forever to get to, because I'm like, do I want to try to find all the accessories, which usually you should, but like, I feel like most of the She-Ra stuff sat forever. Like, I think I finally just sold the last of my last She-Ra shit. This is why I've been not so motivated to do it. So I might just do it as a lot. That's what I've been doing. I did like the He-Man stuff as a lot, so I might as well just do the She-Ra stuff as a lot. And then just be done with it. And I still have like My Little Ponies to go through. I still have a bunch of shit that I've gone through. I need to go through, but I've gone through a bunch. So I don't know. That stuff might just end up in the yard sale. I hope not, but we'll see. Actually, I sold the My Little Ponies. Never mind. I sold those My Little Ponies. Sorry. Yeah, I've been doing more Facebook Marketplace stuff. I just had a guy come. Yeah, shit, I already talked about that. Fucking idiot. Yeah, so, and I haven't been able to sell these tires. I had this guy come to look at tires. Did I talk about this already? And he wanted like tires for a fucking Ford, but he was trying to buy Nissan tires from me. I mean, obviously I know that Ford and Nissan don't make the tires, but they were Nissan rims. He was like trying to get them for a Ford. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the rims are going to be different sizes, which means the tires would be a different size. But that was just me. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So, but yeah, he was. I'm kind of glad I didn't sell him to him, because I feel like he'd be like the type of person to come back after he busts his tire or some shit. I'm like, hey, you sold me some fucking bonk shit. But then I just found this place that recycles them, so I think I'm just going to take it there and be done with it. I'm going to call them after this, actually, and see if I can't take those over at least, free up a little bit of space, or take them on my way to pick up my kid. I think it's over by where my kid's school is. Um, so, oh yeah, so fuck, I forgot to talk about this. So I got a set of DVDs in Las Vegas that I ended up selling for like $45, which isn't a crazy amount of money, obviously, but so this customer purchases it. Before they pay, they send me a message, and I should have just canceled it right at this point, because they send me a message and they go, hi, I have purchased this item. Just wanted to make sure that you're going to send it in a box before I pay. So I'm like, yeah, definitely. And they said, bet, I'll pay right now. I should have said, fuck, I'm going to cancel your order. And I didn't, and so I sent it to them. And these discs were like, I never feel confident about putting like new. And so I but these discs were like new. You can see in the pictures, and in the pictures, I'm not touching them with my hands. You know what I mean? In his picture, his hands are all over them. And it looks like there's fingerprint smudges all over these discs. And so I'm assuming they're going to send back something different. So it's just going to be a whole fucking process. It's a pain in the ass. And I think if you report them then and have eBay step in, then you get dinged as a seller, which is absolutely fucking retarded, because they're clearly, if you look at the pictures, my discs are like I said, I don't ever feel confident doing new. You know what I mean? I rarely will put new. But these discs were so clean that I just I put new. You know what I mean? Because they were new. They were fucking untouched. And I'd never touch them with my fingers because I know it'll get shit all over them. So they send me pictures of greasy fingerprints, and they'd start the return, and they end up putting in the description that there's fingerprints on it. I'm like, it's not damage. And eBay just allowed them to put, which I obviously, they're not going to there's no way for them to be oh, stop, that's not a valid reason, but they should. But for fingerprint smudges, regardless of whether, I'm assuming that they're lying, because then I posted their information in one of the blocked bidder sites. It's a Facebook page where people put usernames of people to block, if they're scammers or. So I put this one because I'm this is valid. This person legitimately is trying to scam me. Hopefully the discs arrive today so I can see how fucking ridiculous they're gonna be. So, and luckily, you know what I mean, I know how to deal with it. I'm gonna message eBay first before I do anything and see what they suggest. But if you just basically, it's annoying because in order to report them, you basically have to get a ding, which is really annoying. Or you can refund them half the money and no shipping, because they're going to pay shipping both ways. And, then they get reimbursed by eBay. It's just such a fucking stupid process, especially for something if they put that smudged. So I don't know if it arrives and it's the different disc. You can see the serial numbers in my discs too, so we'll see what happens. But they sell the same. It's an anime DVD, and they sell anime. So we'll see what happens. So I posted in a block bidder page on Facebook, and somebody in the group said that they sold a $200 DVD to that person, to that account, and they tried to say that they never got it when it showed delivered. And then they said in their reply that maybe their roommate stole it, but they still expected the seller to refund them. So the seller won that case. So I'm hoping I could win my shit, because it's fucking ridiculous. I feel like every other week on eBay I'm having to deal with some bullshit. I had somebody hit me up about I sold a box of Transformers a while back. And it was not the vintage, the ones that look like they're going to break if you fucking breathe on them wrong. These are the 90s overproduced crap that's plastic and fucking. It was a $30 lot. You know what I mean? It wasn't even that expensive, probably. And so I put packaging and shit, and I put certain ones in bags, that might like get jostled. So it wasn't like all everywhere. It was neat and organized with padding and everything. And this person like messaged me to say that I should have individually wrapped each of them, and that like one of them broke. And so I like messaged them back basically being like, well, I would be out of business if I individually wrapped things in lots. You know what I mean? I'm a small, so one person organization here, like making this fucking hamster wheel go. And so yeah, so I said like something to that effect. I'm always polite. And so then I didn't hear back from them, so I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get negative. So then they left a positive review like later down the road. So it's always so confusing, like that, like which people are like really just trying to get shit for free, and which people are just genuinely fucking dumb as fuck. But this dude definitely, you know what I mean. And they just got in the picture, it was like fucking palming this, like got his fingerprints halfway on the disc already. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? So I'm hoping that shit doesn't piss me off, and fucking I'm hoping that it's just easy, but I know it's not going to be. I'm gonna have to call them and have somebody look at it and be like, hey, look at this shit. Like, and I have to probably call back a few times before I can get somebody who's actually gonna help me. And yeah, it just always takes forever with everything on the phone. It's never easy. They hang up on you on purpose. Like, oh, sorry, it got disconnected. And it's like, you can't do shit. And it's gotten worse in the years past. Like, it's just quality of fucking customer service is so low. And that's what pisses me off when people try to scam me on eBay, because it's like I actually do give good customer service for like a business that I got out of customer service industry because I don't like having to deal with it. And most of the time it's pretty easy, you know what I mean? It's just like little requests here. But I had somebody send me a message asking me about like I have these 2 sealed CDs, you know what I mean? So obviously if I'm selling them and I'm advertising that they're sealed, like I know that they're worth something to somebody, and they're selling for $20. You know what I mean? It's nothing fucking crazy. And this person's like messages me that says that they're interested in buying it, but they want me to tell them that they're gonna like individually wrap them in bubble wrap, and like don't buy them. You know what I mean? Don't fucking buy them. Last person that asked me a question about how I was gonna send their shit tried to scam me on some DVDs. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna answer this fucking question. If you just are going to assume that I'm not going to know how to ship your stuff to make sure that it doesn't get damaged, like, then I'm just don't even fucking, you know what I mean? It's like, I just rather not deal with it. It's insulting. It's insulting as a seller for somebody to be like, question how you're going to send their shit. It's like, I know some sellers, you probably are used to them like not doing it, but it's like, if chances are, if you're a good seller, you're going to like respond to the message usually, but like if it feels scammy, and I don't know if I'm just paranoid now because it's been happening like constantly on eBay where somebody asks a question. I don't know what it is. It's like a vampire. You just fucking have to let them in, you know what I mean? And you're like, they ask you a question and you're like, that's their in. So it's like, oh, come on in, vampire, and then they fucking sell them the shit, and it gets fucking returned for finger smudges by this fucking time sucker. It's fucking ridiculous. So anyway, it's just, yeah, I'm hoping that, because that one's like, it's one too that it's like you find a cool thing that you want to sell, and then they fuck it up and they take it, or they like fucking scam you out of it, and now you've just got like fucking nothing. I could still sell, if I can refund them half their money and then sell the case for fucking, a fraction of what I sold the rest of it for. But it's just so fucking annoying that you have to deal with that shit. And there's really no like recourse. There's no like, you can submit stuff to be like, like you can report them, but that doesn't usually do shit. And then you can refund them half their money, but then they get their money back from eBay, and then it's just like a whole fucking thing. It's just so annoying. So, anyway, looking forward, I've trying to like figure out other ways to sell stuff. And again, I've been terrible with Instagram. Like I was trying to be like up on doing Instagram all the time, but it just gets to be a lot. So I need somebody that's just gonna like, I need like a knock at the door, then like not somebody I don't know, you know what I mean, but just like one of my friends or family members who's just like, hey, listen, I decided to figure out how to produce a podcast and I want to do yours. You know what I mean? Just to make my life that much easier. Just give me that extra little bit of time. I don't think it's going to happen though. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm hoping this weekend is all right. I hope that just like, I love the days when you can go to limited yard sales. You can go to like 1 or 2 yard sales and just kind of kill it and not spend a ton of money and just come back and you're like, oh shit, that's good, But I've got cash from a few marketplace sales. So that's what I've been trying to do, just keep that cash. Problem is I haven't been keeping up with eBay. And it's like, definitely, if you start listing, you start selling. It's so crazy. Most of the stuff I've been listing, as long as it's decent, I've been selling. I just sold something that, like, I bought a while back. I made my money back on all the stuff that I bought that day. But, like, I definitely overpaid for the thing. It was like a stuffed Salem the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's such a fucking... I know it's from a comic book, but it's such a ridiculous time period when that show was on, like on Friday nights. It was like that and like Boy Meets World, Step by Step. I was never big into Step by Step. I didn't really like that show. I honestly couldn't tell you what it's about. I'm assuming it's about step families. It's called Step by Step, but I couldn't tell you anything. I think it had like Suzanne Summers maybe, and she was hot as fuck on that show. I'm surprised I didn't watch it, because usually like around that time period, if there was like something that gave me a boner, I was watching it. But yeah, dude, that Friday night, it was like TGI Friday, the TGI Friday lineup. And I don't even remember how I started talking about TGI Friday. What the fuck was I talking about? I don't know. I have no idea what I was talking about. I don't even remember what show I was talking about. It was Boy Meets World, Step by Step. What was the other one? Fuck, I gotta stop smoking weed. I guess it's like non-important shit. I remembered it initially. But anyway, yeah, this was, I might need to take a couple weeks off of the podcast, because this was not my best. No, I wasn't bad. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll just keep like making sounds. I really wish I could remember what I was talking about with Friday nights, TGI Fridays. But yeah, it was just a wild time when like those shows were on TV. And yeah, you'd go to Blockbuster sometimes. I was more of like a Blockbuster Friday night. I like to go rent video games. That was always the shit. You could go rent like Super Nintendo games from like a video store. And then like try to peep a look. Like when somebody would walk out of the porno section, you'd try to like peek in there. But yeah, I miss renting those old video games. Now I have like all, a bunch of them here, and I never play them. I'm just like, I'm going to play them someday. So we'll see. I'll probably end up selling them at some point, but I just right now I'm like, I would play Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I need to get a copy of that. So I've yet to find one. I remember last or 2 summers ago, I found all those Super Nintendo games, and not a single copy of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I know they've made it for other platforms, but that was my favorite one, was this Super Nintendo. But such a good game. I don't know if I've ever made it past the big baby. That's the thing, you can try as an adult. It's a little bit easier. Your brain's a little bit more developed. I didn't realize how dumb I was till I got older. And now I see it in my children. I'm like, God damn, these kids are fucking dumb sometimes. I'm not saying it like maliciously, but like, you know what I mean? Just kids just do dumb shit. Speaking of kids, I had to make sure that the other one is still sleeping. So yeah. Summertime's coming up. We built my wife built it. I was moving we tore down like a wall in our basement to give us more space. And so as soon as we did that, my wife's like, let's move this giant tent into into the living room. And so now there's this fucking giant, it's not even a tent, it's like a teepee. So now we have this giant fucking teepee in the living room that we just cleared the space out from. Couldn't even have like a week. And so we cleared that wall out, and we were taking these big ass stones, but there was like a few of them that were, because there's a ton of them. They're like mason stones. And so my wife ended up putting them together while we were doing that. She made like a little fire pit. So it ended up coming out really nice. I've been burning some wood. We don't have any like good firewood right now. Just rained on all the wood too, of course. But it's probably dry by now. Didn't really rain that hard. Well, it did. It was pouring, but I think that was like 2 days ago, so I'm sure I could get it started hot enough to cook that wood. It sounded gross. But anyway, I don't know why I'm so sniffly right now. I'm not sick. I don't feel sick at all. I really think it's like allergies. Might need to take a Zyrtec, dog. I never really get allergies that bad, but now it's all up in my nose. Yeah. Good times. This is like the worst ending to a podcast that I could have ever done. I only had one thing written down today. I probably should have just did a podcast like next week and just been like, I did a bonus one. But I wanted to keep the momentum up, so it won't be the worst podcast I've ever done. So, I hope not. Maybe do another drunk one. That was fun. So, I'm making filet mignon tonight. I make it with some gorgonzola sauce. I'm doing Brussels sprouts with bacon, like chopped up bacon mixed with Brussels sprouts. And then a baked potato. So I'm doing that tonight. Fucking bomb shit. Bomb diggity, dude. So I'm making that. And I could cook like a motherfucker. I fucked up last night. I made pork chops. And pork chops aren't my best. So I did a brine, and I think it would have came out really good, but I should have taken them off and let them rest and let them cook like that. But I just cooked them too long and they got a little dried out. So it wasn't my favorite pork, but the last time I made them, it was bomb. So I just got to get it better at, and the way I did it like fried. So and they were so thick, it just took forever. I should have just cut them in half. You know what I mean? They were just too thick, I think. So should have cut them in half, and now I know for next time. Just did 2, So yeah, so that I kind of dropped the ball on, but rarely do I fuck up a dinner. Rarely. I have to cook so often. Anytime you cook all the time, you know what I mean? It's just practice. It's like when you do anything. If you don't cook every day, your shit's not gonna be good. If you fucking cook every day, your shit's gonna be pretty good. There's days that I'm just like, fuck, man, my heart's not really in it. Or I got to come up with something quick on the fly. Or I forget. I can't just do fucking takeout. But takeout's been kind of dog shit lately. Like most of it, not all of it. And I guess it depends on where you live, obviously. But like it feels like it was better before. Not before anything. I'm just saying, just you know what I mean. Like a lot of places there, shit's kind of gone downhill a little bit. But I always try to go to the local places, you know, support the local fucking shit instead of going to chains. But there are some chains around here that are like, they're just kind of New England only. You know what I mean? You can't really get them other places. So this is what I'm talking about now with 5 minutes left is fucking restaurant chains and how the quality of takeout. So I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. I don't know what we're doing here. I apologize. Sometimes I guess it should be quality over quantity, because this one was just not my finest. It was going well. It's like the first 15 minutes I was like, damn, dude, that went quick. And then once I got towards the end, I'm like, man, this is getting to be. I thought it was like a 3-hour podcast. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I talked to my mom. I know she won't get this far into the podcast because of the conversation we had. We were talking about something like, I think she was talking about Robert Kennedy or something, and then she was saying something about like how, something about like 30-second clips and how like he doesn't, and this isn't like a political endorsement or anything like that. This is just. This was a funny conversation about like attention spans. So she's like talking about how like he didn't, tell any of his platforms or he didn't tell you how he was going to fix any of the issues that he was bringing up in his ads or whatever. And I'm like, well, that's like a 30-second video. I'm like, you should be like watching videos in interviews of all the political candidates that you're interested in if you're serious, about whatever, even though it's probably mostly bullshit. You know what I mean? At this point, it's kind of a little bit obvious that it's like, it's mostly bullshit. But still, if you're like serious about it and, you're trying to fucking put on airs about being serious about it, and then you should like watch a fucking like 3-hour podcast or, watch them do interviews like longer than 30 seconds. And she's like, oh, that's way too long. That's way too long. It's like 3 hours. Like, she's like, who has time for that? I'm like, you do. You're retired. Like, if you're retired, like, what do you do? You know what I mean? So that was more about like less about the political thing, but more about like the idea that the attention span, dude. As my attention span, as I fucking lose interest and fucking start daydreaming. Oh man, but yeah, it was just funny, like that 3 hours that like. Because it's like you can put it on like the radio. I think they think that you have to actually watch it. I'm like, no, you don't have to watch it. You can listen to it. Like I listen to it. You don't have to fucking sit down and watch it. Like, do you think that you have to watch it? Like, do you have to sit there and look at the screen, even if it's an audio only podcast? So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. So I just thought that was funny. That was like a little conversation that we had on the way back from the book sale. So it was just very interesting. Just how 30 seconds is like, So I don't know. I mean, if you're still listening at this point to the last minute of this podcast, then more power to you. You've got a great attention span. And maybe that was the whole point of this episode is to test your attention span. To see if you would actually listen to a fucking me just ramble about some stupid shit for another hour. But here we are, less than a minute left. So if you're into the podcast, again, subscribe, tell your friends. If you're a reseller, tell your other reseller friends. I need to start marketing a little bit better. But yeah, I'll be back. I think I might take a couple weeks off, like 2 weeks. Just so I don't, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't think it needs to be every week. Especially like, well, once the yard sale season's up and running, but like this, there wasn't a lot going on this past week. So I apologize. I didn't have much to talk about. Just kind of to make it work, but I'll be back again. Maybe next week, maybe a couple weeks. We'll see. But don't be alarmed if you don't hear me for a week or so. So, all right. Later.